Welcome to the Halloween version of Badger Speaks. And of course, I am joined by the commissioner to review Week 7. How are you doing, Commissioner?
Great to be here.
So let's get it started here with the game of the week between Extremely Explicit and Suburban Icon. Let's get it started here. During the 1 o'clock games, it seemed like it was going to be evenly matched, but Extremely Explicit fired away early, a 24-point lead heading into the 4 o'clock games. What was the scenario at that point, Commissioner?
So it was Mahomes, Evans, and Hunter Henry versus Ronald Jones and Harrison Butker, and somehow Suburban pulled that out 23-17. That was huge. It got it within 18 going into Sunday night.
And it was Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins against DK Metcalf, who was off to a huge start. 18-point lead for Extremely Explicit, and it wasn't even close. The Suburban Icon wins the game, 116-86, 30-point dub for Icon. As we head to the next game, the surprise upset of the week, the Alabama Do-Si-Do and Weeki Wachi. What a performance by the Tribe.
We haven't seen Weeki Wachi like this since week 1. It was awesome to see. Explosion from Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers hit a 44-yard bomb to Adams. Right afterwards, A.J. Brown catches a 73-yard touchdown. But Alabama Do-Si-Do, they were in it. James Robinson, 26 points, and it came down to Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, common theme. Alabama Do-Si-Do put up a good week and just lose.
Lose.
It's a good week.
101 points. Unfortunately, Chris Carson, Kenyon Drake down with injury. 129, 101. What a week by the Tribe. I believe there's a stat correction, actually. As we head to the next game of the week, the Devil Dogs and Boss Hog. Boss Hog looked good early. Todd Gurley, not a great performance for the Falcons, a great performance for fantasy football.
Falls in the end zone, blows the game for the Falcons, keeps Sean in the game in this one.
And Odell Beckham down with an injury early in the game, unfortunate. But it looked like Boss Hog at the edge throughout the 4 o'clock games. It was really close, and it came down to Monday Night Football. I think the Rams needed 9 points or more. I think they needed 10 points because of the home field advantage, and they got 14. Rams defense 2-0 on Monday Night Football. What a performance. 96-91 in a must-win game for the Devil Dogs. As we look at the standings and look at Division Eco, just when you think it's out of reach, the Devil Dogs are only 1 game back of Extremely Explicit. And don't forget that there is a Week 8 deadline where as soon as the Week 8 deadline ends, the winner prevails. And we've got 2 5-2 teams over there in Division Cam. Mm-hmm. And now let's look at the power rankings. And we look at number 6, the Alabama Do-Si-Do. They have looked great this year. They're the only team that have scored over 90 in every single game. That includes any of the top 3 teams. But unfortunately, they just can't win those close games.
Yeah, sometimes just points against matter so much.
At number 5, we got the 4th seed. We got the Devil Dogs and a little bit of surpriser there. They look strong. They look good, but I don't know. We're going to see what happens in this end stretch. We'll see how the injuries work out for them. Number 4, I'm going to go with the team with the highest ceiling and the dark horse for the rest of the season, the Tribe. They looked really, really good this week, and they got Aaron Jones and Chris McCaffrey almost to come back this week. Number 3, we got Boss Hog, team tied with the best record and the number 1 team in the league. But their number 3 injuries have started to bite them in their ass. Dak Prescott and all the guys they just traded for, and Odell Beckham now. And number 2, look who's there. Extremely Explicit for the first time this season. Would you expect them to lose 2 straight this year?
I mean, they got off to the hottest start. They just lost 2 games. And that's how the power rankings work. But I wouldn't be surprised to get them back up there soon.
And look at number 1, Suburban Icon, who we're going to speak to in a moment. They look great. I feel like they got the breakout quarterback, possibly the QB1. They got strong running backs, strong receivers. They still have a top tight end. They're trying to trade for one. I've heard rumors about it. And they look great. Defending champion, number 1 in the power rankings. Thank you for joining us here on the Halloween version of Badger Speaks. Up next, we talk to Suburban Icon after the play of the week.
Murray had thought about playing baseball as he takes a snap on a 3rd and 2 and goes deep down the left side, and it's hauled in for the touchdown by DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins have been a great combination for Suburban Icon, as I am joined by the owner. How you doing, Clay?
Great to be here, man.
So let's get it started. What a great win it was for you. A 30-point dub against Extremely Explicit, who have so far been the best team. How do you feel about the win?
It was an awesome win. I really didn't expect to win. Obviously, a lot of guys are out for me. Really 4 of my core players. But we pieced together some backups, threw together what we thought was a good lineup, and they pulled it off. Huge comeback win. It was awesome.
So this makes you now the pound for pound number 1 in the power rankings. How's it feel to be number 1?
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. But it's great to hear. I mean, we're just looking to peak for the playoffs. I feel like a lot of teams we've seen their best. I don't think we've seen Suburban's best yet. We really haven't put together all my starters together in one lineup, so I look forward to that.
So far, the best player for you has been who?
It's been Kyler Murray. I think he hasn't got his due respect as possibly the SFFL MVP, but he's putting up the same stats Lamar was, probably a little better because it's a little more consistent, to be honest with you. I love me some Kyler. He was a huge question mark for me going into the season. I knew his potential, but I didn't know if he'd actually do it or not, and he's been great. And then Terry, man, I love Terry. He's starting to get going. He's finally getting some good matchups, and man, I just couldn't dream of a better keeper than Terry McLaurin right there.
So far, you were involved in trade discussions last week for Christian McCaffrey, who was on the trade block. Is there any trade discussions going on right now, and what's going on with Christian McCaffrey?
Well, there's always going to be trade discussions. Anytime I'm involved, there's going to be trade discussions. Unfortunately, couldn't pull off the Christian. Things just didn't come together. I assume Nate's probably going to keep him. We're always going to make offers, though. Might be a few minor trades this week, but nothing big.
And obviously, Christian McCaffrey is on Wikiwachi. Who are you are playing this week? They came off a great performance against the Do-Si-Do. How do you feel about your chances this week against the Tribe?
Well, usually, I like to avoid looking at the other team. Just try to focus on your team. But if you're asking me to look at that team, man, I would prefer not to, because that is going to be an absolute juggernaut. They're going to be elite this week. We're going to try our best, but man, for all of us, going for that Herb Cup, running down the field, trying to get that Herb Cup, I think I hear the footsteps of DK behind us, and there's no denying Wikiwachi.
And obviously, not this week, but next week is Throwback Week. We probably won't see you that week. But Polyester Dynamo coming in. How do you feel about your chances with Polyester?
Sean's having a good year. I'm 0-2 against him, but he hasn't faced Polyester. I want to win real bad. I want to win because they're my favorite for 2021. So,
thank you for joining us here, Mr. Clay Harvey. Up next, we got the predictions after a bad week by Badger. And we are back here for the last segment of the episode. Badger predicts. I went 0-3 last week. Unfortunately, what a horrible week for me it was. But we're on to another week here, and we got to get better every day. And let's look at the game of the week, the defending champion, Suburban Icon against Wikiwachi, who just came off a huge win. And expect the battle here to be at wide receiver. If Suburban Icon can stay close at receiver, they could dominate this match. And I do have them winning the match in a very, very tight one. Injuries are going to hurt both teams or help both teams. We'll see what happens with Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, and Michael Thomas. I got Icon in a close one. 118-116. DC chillin', going to be dominant in this one. And we look at the Devil Dogs in Extremely Explicit. If Devil Dogs win this matchup, they tie for the division, and that would be something you could not say 4 weeks ago. Expect the battle here to be at running back, Zeke and Taylor against Kamara and Scott. I do not expect Mixon to play. And also Elijah to have a quarterback in, so it's hard to predict that. But I'm going to go with Extremely Explicit. They're going to get back on track here. Even though they don't have the best matchups in the world, I think their wide receivers are going to be huge. Expect Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf. That's going to be a hell of a battle there during their games. And we look at Boss Hog and the Alabama Do-Si-Do. The Do-Si-Do do not have running backs, flex, or kicker in. Again, really hard to project for. And while injuries are really killing Boss Hog right now, they are killing the Do-Si-Do as well. Expect Derrick Henry to be huge, expect Gurley to be huge, and expect this game tonight to be huge in this one. I have Boss Hog 109-104. Happy Halloween to the league. And guess what, boys? Next week is going to be one of the bigger ones in SFFL history as we have Throwback Week. The Killer Gorillas, a potential franchise, and Polyester Dynamo, the story of the week. Thank you guys for joining us here. We'll see you guys at the end of the week.